Amelia Earhart, the aviator who conquered the skies. What if I told you that the most famous pilot in history was told she'd never amount to anything because she was just a girl? What if the woman who soared higher than the clouds was once afraid of heights? What if the person who disappeared into legend was actually running toward her greatest dream, not away from her fears? This is the story of Amelia Earhart, the woman who looked at the impossible and said, "Watch me." The aviator who didn't just break barriers, she shattered them into a million pieces and scattered them across the sky. July 24, 1897, Atchison, Kansas. Amelia Mary Earhart is born into a world where proper ladies wear corsets and stay indoors. But Amelia has other plans. At age 7, she builds a homemade roller coaster in her backyard, a wooden ramp that launches her flying through the air. When she crashes and gets a bloody lip, does she cry? No. She grins and shouts, "Oh Pidge, it's just like flying." Her family calls her Mealy, but her real nickname should be Fearless. While other girls play with dolls, Amelia collects worms, climbs trees, and keeps a scrapbook of successful women, doctors, lawyers, engineers, women who refused to accept limits. Here's a curiosity most people don't know. Amelia doesn't see her first airplane until she's 20 years old. At the 1908 Iowa State Fair, she walks right past the flying machine without a second glance. It was a thing of rusty wire and wood and looked not at all interesting. She later writes, "Little does she know, that uninteresting machine will become her destiny." December 28, 1920. Long Beach, California. 23-year-old Amelia attends an air show. Pilot Frank Hawks takes her up for a 10-minute ride in his biplane. The moment her feet leave the ground, her life changes forever. By the time I had got 200 or 300 feet off the ground, I knew I had to fly. There's just one problem. Flying lessons cost $1,000, equivalent to $15,000 today. Amelia works as a truck driver, photographer, and stenographer, saving every penny. Her instructor, Netta Snook, is one of the few female pilots in America. Most men think women can't handle machines, Netta tells her. Prove them wrong. Here's an incredible curiosity: to look like a real pilot. Amelia sleeps in her new leather jacket for 3 nights to make it look worn. She even rubs it with gasoline to give it that authentic aviation smell. 1921. She buys her first plane, a yellow Kinner Airster. She names the Canary. Why yellow? Because Amelia believes bright things belong in the sky. October 22, 1922. Amelia breaks her first world record, flying to 14,000 feet, higher than any woman before her. But this is just the beginning. 1928. The phone call that makes history. Publisher George Putnam asks Amelia a simple question: would you like to be the first woman to fly across the Atlantic? Her answer, yes. No hesitation, no fear, just pure determination. June 17, 1928. The Fokker FVIIB Friendship takes off from Newfoundland. But here's the twist: Amelia is just a passenger. Pilot Wilmer Stultz and co-pilot Louis Gordon do the flying while she keeps the flight log. She calls herself a sack of potatoes. When they land in Wales after 20 hours and 40 minutes, Amelia becomes world famous overnight. Ticker tape parades, magazine covers, book deals. But fame without accomplishment tastes hollow. "I was just baggage," she admits. "Someday I'll redeem myself by flying the Atlantic alone." May 20, 1932. 4 years later. Amelia keeps her promise. Flying solo in her red Lockheed Vega, she battles ice storms, mechanical problems, and fuel leaks. Her altimeter fails. Her radio dies. But she doesn't turn back. After 14 hours and 56 minutes, she lands in a cow pasture in Northern Ireland. When a farmer asks where she's from, she casually replies, "America." She becomes the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. But Amelia isn't done. Solo flights across the Pacific. Speed records, altitude records. Each achievement opens doors for women everywhere. She becomes a fashion icon, designing her own line of luggage and clothing. She writes best-selling books, lectures to sold-out audiences, all to fund her flying. 1937. The ultimate challenge, circumnavigating the globe at the equator. 29,000 miles through uncharted territory. Most people think she's crazy. Why? They ask. Her answer reveals her soul. "I want to do it because I want to do it." Women must try to do things as men have tried. When they fail, their failure must be but a challenge to others. Here's a fascinating curiosity. Amelia packs 20 different lipsticks for the around-the-world flight. When asked why, she laughs. A girl must look her best, even at 10,000 feet. July 2, 1937. New Guinea. Amelia and navigator Fred Noonan take off for Howland Island, a tiny speck in the Pacific Ocean. They have enough fuel for 22 hours. The flight should take 20. Gas is running low. Her last radio transmission crackles through static. Unable to reach you by radio. We are running north and south. Then ... silence. What happened to Amelia Earhart? The mystery endures 87 years later. But here's what we know for certain. She didn't disappear. She transformed into something greater than herself. She became possibility itself. Every little girl who dreams of becoming a pilot carries Amelia's spirit. Every woman who breaks a barrier stands on Amelia's shoulders. Every person who chooses adventure over safety honors her legacy. Before she left on her final flight, Amelia wrote, "I have a feeling that there is just about one more good flight left in my system, and I hope this trip is it." Maybe she was right. Maybe her last flight never ended. Maybe she's still up there, soaring through infinite blue, showing us that the only limits that exist are the ones we accept. Amelia Earhart proved that courage isn't about fearlessness. It's about flying toward your dreams even when you're scared. This was Amelia Earhart, the woman who taught us that the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning. What's your sky waiting for you to conquer?